the Hudson Media Group studio, this is Talking Politics. And yes, I am New Jersey's premier award-winning journalist, Top 50 Latino, as voted on by the Latino Spirit Online magazine, as well as the United States Latino Affairs Initiatives, certainly the weapon of mass disruption in Garden State media. Obviously, every single week, the traffic will tell you statewide, folks, the people's choice and the people's voice, and of course, the most handsome face that runs the place. It's me, Fernando Uribe. Hope you're having a wonderful October. As you can see, I'm rocking that purple here during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Obviously, we all know how deep of a cause I'm committed to when it comes to breast cancer awareness. Well, when it comes to domestic violence awareness, hey, I'm equally committed to that as well. Certainly here on the show, there's a lot to discuss, so let's get started. Here's what I'm thinking about right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I take pride in on this program is telling you the truth every week, and sometimes the truth isn't always easy to hear. At times, it can be very uncomfortable, especially during the election season. And I'll tell you, folks, in 2023, this election cycle has just gotten absolutely toxic because at the top of the ballot coming up in just a couple of weeks, it's all 120 legislative seats in the state assembly and in the state senate down in Trenton. But what's really interesting to me, I think, is sort of like the disingenuous sort of game plan by some far-left Democrats in Trenton. Now, we all know that there are really, reasonable, moderate, center-left Democrats. I'll take example, my mayor, who's also my state senator, Brian P. Stack. He's a working-class Democrat. He's center-left. He's not some woke crusader. He's not some guy that is as I like to refer to some in Trenton, like the emperor and others as social justice clowns. Not at all. But unfortunately, my state senator is outnumbered by the far left and many of the progressives in both the state assembly and the state senate. And I think that one of the things that's really upsetting me is, as I mentioned before, the disingenuous nature of the narrative during this campaign season. And that's coming from a lot of feminists and all these organizations, whether it's, Women for Progress, Make Their Own New Jersey, the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice, all these other insufferable feminists, and we all know who they are, right? All these cat ladies that stink of cat piss when you come across them at political events all across the state. But more so now than ever, this year, they're trying to make us believe that somehow reproductive freedom and reproductive choice is on the ballot in New Jersey. And that's just not the case because they're blatantly lying to you. And by the way, a shout out to Ricky Suda from the New Jersey Globe. And by the way, David Wildstein, its editor and publisher, is a big fan of mine, not just of this program, but my other show, Real Talk with Fernando Uribe, via Jersey First TV. So whenever I can plug anything from the New Jersey Globe, I will definitely do so because it's been great reporting and really, who else is breaking news like David Wildstein? Again, a shout out to all of his reporters who work diligently every single day to bring you these scoops and all these exclusives. So Ricky Suda reported this week that Planned Parenthood's New Jersey Super PAC, which by the way is subsidized with taxpayer dollars, but they'll never tell you that, right, is sending out 153,000 mailers to federal election year voters in the competitive 3rd, 4th, 11th, 16th, and 38th legislative districts in an attempt to galvanize voters who might be motivated by the abortion issue in this year's off-year, low-turnout election. Now, according to Jackie Cornell, one of the trustees at this insufferable PAC, right, the Planned Parenthood NJ Super PAC, and of course, she also happens to be the executive director of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund of New Jersey. Talk about, double dipping here, folks. She goes on to say, quote, "In New Jersey, the future of abortion access is at stake. We cannot be complacent. Just one election can undo the years of progress our state has made when it comes to protecting and expanding our reproductive freedom." Now, a sample mailer features the banner, quote, "Abortion is under attack," which is not true, above headlines of state-level abortion restrictions across the country. See, again, this is where the scare tactic and the weaponization of abortion is taking place. Now, the mailer argues that similar policies that would outlaw abortion could come to New Jersey if Democrats lose this year. Now, the mailer then spotlights the Democrats running in the 11th district. For example, State Senator Vin Gopal, a Democrat out of Long Branch, and Assembly candidates Margie Dunlin and Luann Peterpaul, as pivotal to ensuring New Jerseyans maintain access to abortion care. These candidates are labeled as, quote, health champions. Folks, give me a break. Okay, health champions. In September, Planned Parenthood Action Fund of New Jersey endorsed the 11th District Democrats and all Democratic candidates in the 3rd, 4th, 16th, and 38th districts, where voters will be receiving these mailers as soon as by the end of the week. Now, the mailer that will be issued is also the Super PAC's second one. They sent one in late September to competitive district voters who are more likely to vote by mail. That mailer actually reached 66,000 doors. Now, Democrats across the state, especially in competitive districts, are increasingly laser-focused on abortion access as the pivotal issue in this year's election. Folks, and again, shout out to Ricky Suda, great reporting here on this story. But I'm going to tell you the truth here, folks, about why Planned Parenthood is so blatantly dishonest. Because at the end of the day, what they won't tell you in the mailers, okay, is that access to abortion has been codified into state law, okay? So the idea that, let's just say for whatever reason, Republicans win a majority in the Assembly and or state Senate. Now, again, that's highly improbable. Now, can Republicans make some gains in the districts we just talked about, right? In the 3rd, 4th, 11th, 16th, and 38th? Quite possibly. Even the 34th and the 36th. Now, listen, here in Hudson County, folks, in the 33rd district where I live, their nearby 32nd, the new 32nd, and the new 31st, I mean, they're as solidly blue as Windex. But those legislators aren't running on this because they know that at the end of the day, that's not the issue that's really galvanizing voters in these districts. It's about property taxes, right? It's about hopefully trying to get spending out of control. I mean, let's be honest, folks, every June, we keep seeing the state budget get as fat as the latest women we see in Victoria's Secret commercials or in advertising. Okay, never mind those hot chicks we used to see in the early 2000s or 2010s. Forget about that. We're seeing women that look like Lizzo, representing basically the fat that exists in the state budget, right? But they won't tell you that, right? Planned Parenthood, Make the Road New Jersey, Women for Progress, again, all these insufferable feminist groups, okay, will want to scare you to death, especially all the suburban, college-educated white women, black women, brown women, whatever. Folks, here's the newsflash. Abortion is nowhere near being eradicated in the state of New Jersey. Okay? Would I very much like to see Republicans not just only keep the 3rd district, but flip the 4th, the 11th, the 16th, and the 38th? Absolutely. Why not? Let's try to make the emperor, Phil Murphy's last remaining year and a half in office as uncomfortable as possible. We all know that the emperor has done everything in his power to destroy the state, right? Let's be fair. I don't have enough fingers and toes to name all the ways that Phil Murphy has destroyed New Jersey, okay? But having said that, what bothers me more about these organizations is that, again, they're lying to you, okay? I'll give you an example, okay? I don't really care how this sounds because I think it needs to be said. Okay, folks, it's NFL season, all right? And you know what? You really don't need to give women an excuse to drink in New Jersey, but you know what? They'll go out Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and of course, Sunday Fun Day, whether it be in Hoboken, Morristown, down the shore, wherever you want, folks, okay? We're talking about, at the minimum, 4 straight days of debauchery, going out drinking, out with the girls, whatever. All right, let's just say you do all that, which is most likely the case for a lot of women in New Jersey. Okay, you wake up Monday morning next to a guy you're probably going to regret waking up next to. Well, guess what? You can go to your local Walgreens, you can go to CVS, and you can buy what's called a Plan B. And let's be honest, it's not like a lot of you ladies don't know what Plan B looks like. Okay, I know what it looks like. I've had to buy one. Okay, when, you know, obviously in some of my escapades with the ladies. Okay, but having said that, that option's there. Okay, for any of you ladies out there, if you get knocked up tomorrow and you're reconsidering your pregnancy, well, guess what? There's no shortage of clinics. There's no shortage of resources in New Jersey, which, by the way, are subsidized with tax dollars. Okay, it's not like these clinics rely solely on private donations, folks. I mean, they are subsidized with taxpayer dollars. It's not like there's a shortage for you, ladies, in the sense of terminating your pregnancy. In some cases, as late as you want in New Jersey, because there's plenty of resources here. So let's stop the scare tactics. Okay, let's stop with this. Oh my God, abortion is on the ballot. No, it's not. Okay, all the Dobbs decision did last summer. And again, I feel like mind you, I didn't go to law school, and I'm not a law school professor, but I feel like I have to be one on this show, or maybe sort of reintroduce civics, and maybe reintroduce the facts that maybe some of you out there, a lot of you haters, have never read the Bill of Rights. In the 10th Amendment specifically, it talks about states' rights, and all the Dobbs decision did was relegate the decision as it pertains to abortion access down to the states. Okay? Now, we all know all the activists out there in New Jersey, all the left-leaning activists, men and women, that are going to cry and moan about abortion access and everything else. Because that's all you're really good for, right? You live to bitch, and you bitch to live. Okay? Here in New Jersey, you're fine. Whatever happens in Tennessee, whatever happens in Iowa, Texas, Nebraska, Missouri, take your pick. That's not your concern. I hear so many activists, I hear so many journalists, really propagandists, masquerading as journalists, bitching and moaning about, oh my God, abortion access, my body, my choice. Yeah, where were all you people during the pandemic when people like me who are now vaccinated and chose not to be and chose not to get their 13th booster like some of you clowns did, okay? And when I was screaming, my body, my choice, oh, what happened? Oh, you wanted to vilify people like me because you didn't feel that my cause was just. Well, guess what? You either believe in my body, my choice, or not at all. All right? So getting back, again, to the insufferable feminists, and we all know who they are, okay? I ridicule enough of them on this show and my other shows. And some of these exact women watch the shows anyway because they just can't help themselves. But at the end of the day, folks, whatever happens in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Iowa, that's not your concern. If you're so worried and preoccupied about women's abortion rights in those states, then fly your ass down there. Okay? I'll gladly fly you or pay for your flight out of the state. I'll drive you to Newark Airport or LaGuardia. Preferably not JFK. It's really far out there. Okay? I'll fly out to Teterboro Airport if I have to. But as long as you live in New Jersey, ladies, okay, there's no fear about abortion access being restricted here. It's been codified into state law. Okay? So, for all of you activists, all you hysterics, because really at the end of the day, that's what a lot of you women are. You're a bunch of hysterics. Not just Latinas. We all know Latinas are like overly hysterical to begin with. It's in their DNA. But for a lot of the women in New Jersey, you're being overly hysterical for nothing. Because abortion isn't going anywhere. Now, for the record, again, let me be very clear. I'm a pro-choice guy, within reason. Okay? I understand the importance of access to be able to terminate a pregnancy. I get all that. But here in New Jersey, as I said, you can buy a Plan B anywhere within a matter of minutes. You don't have to wait online. You don't have to wait for a prescription. You can go to again, any Walgreens, any CVS, okay, any Duane Reade if they even exist anymore, okay, any supermarket for that matter, in the pharmacy section, and you can get a Plan B after a weekend of drunken escapades, which we all know a lot of you ladies in New Jersey engage in anyway. All right? Same for guys, okay? But at the end of the day, this is where, again, people like me, broadcast journalists, conservatives, have an issue with Planned Parenthood. They continue to lie to you. They continue to be dishonest. And again, they're taking taxpayer dollars and sending out these mailers to openly deceive you. Don't fall for it, folks. Okay? If anything of what's really important during this election cycle here in New Jersey, okay, especially in districts that Republicans can win, down south and central Jersey alike, and even parts of Bergen County, which I'm openly rooting for, okay? We can shave into those majority. Now again, Republicans have a big hill to climb. Democrats have a 25 to 15 majority in the state Senate, and they have a 46 to 24 majority in the state assembly. So they have some work to do in both chambers. But these are districts that are easily winnable. Okay? Come up on November 7th, it's about parental rights. It's about making sure that we're spending responsibly, that we're not overtaxing New Jerseyans to the point where they have to move out of here and go to states that are much more attractive to live in, like Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas, Kentucky, Tennessee, even Delaware. Vote to make New Jersey more affordable. And that's really at the heart of what's going on in all these districts, but more so the districts I just named in the 3rd, the 4th, the 11th, I believe also the 16th, and the 30th, even the 34th and 36th. All winnable districts for Republicans. Go out and vote red, okay? Hold Phil Murphy accountable. Hold Nick Scutari accountable. Hold Attorney General Matt Platkin accountable. Okay, these are all people that are openly looking to destroy the state. Hold them accountable on November the 7th. Go vote early, vote by mail, go vote in person on Election Day. Send a message to the far left in New Jersey. You're tired of getting lied to. Abortion isn't anywhere near on anyone's radar about being done away with in New Jersey. You need to learn that and not fall for the hysteria of all these like hyper-hysteric women to begin with, and of course, blatantly dishonest organizations like Planned Parenthood. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. Now some local news for your consideration. Folks, very good story out of Ron Zentlinger from the Jersey Journal, and apparently Jersey City is not giving up on its fight to stop its police officers from using legal cannabis. Now, Mayor Stephen Phillips said the city is filing a lawsuit in federal court to challenge the state's Cannabis Regulatory Enforcement Assistance and Marketplace Modernization Act, otherwise known as CREMA, saying the federal law preempts the state legislation on the legal use of cannabis. Now, the city of Jersey City has lost 2 cases against police officers it had sanctioned for off-duty marijuana use. The Office of Administrative Law and the Civil Service Commissioner each ordered Jersey City to reinstate police officers Norhan Mansour and Omar Polanco in cases heard separately. Now, Jersey City officials have vowed to appeal both those decisions. Now, Phillips announced on Monday that he, along with Public Safety Director Jim Shea and police officials, will hold a news conference to discuss the lawsuit, which is not yet available online. The city has argued that Mansour and Polanco cases, that since cannabis is considered a controlled dangerous substance on the federal level, officers who use cannabis would not be allowed to carry a weapon. Quote, we are citing the same federal law that Hunter Biden was indicted under with regards to firearms, which is a good point by the mayor. There is no way to confirm whether cannabis was used an hour, day, or week before a shift, and it will take one questionable judgment called by a police officer that tests positive that will expose the city to massive liability. No city in New Jersey has been more supportive of cannabis overall, but we should have common sense as well. I got to tell you, folks, I completely and wholeheartedly agree with Stephen Phillips on this. And there are things that me and Stephen aren't going to agree on. Okay? And I like Steve personally. There's some policy positions he holds I'm not a fan of. But this is one I think that conclusively I think makes sense. Now, I get it that there are a lot of people in New Jersey that love smoking marijuana. I've never smoked marijuana. I don't care to. It doesn't interest me. It's not something that really is on my radar. Okay? As for any vices I might have, it's basically women. That's it. That's the only vice that I know of that I have. It's not alcohol. It's not any, substance per se. All right? But he makes a good point here about the idea that officers, if they're using it on their recreational time, I mean, let's be honest. There isn't an exact mechanism in place that will tell you when and how long ago you were able to use cannabis. It could have been an hour ago, a day ago. Folks, again, I'm not a medical doctor. But all it takes is a simple Google search to research the reality that marijuana affects everybody differently. It affects our nervous system differently. Okay? It's a depressant. Okay? It might vary how long it stays in our system, and it varies from person to person. Who knows? Their body chemistry, their body mass index. I mean, there's a variety of different factors. Okay? Now, some people might say, well, I smoke weed, and guess what? In an hour, I'm fine. Or in 2 hours, I'm fine. Maybe it takes a full day. Maybe it takes 2 days. I hate to tell you, folks, I don't want any cops using marijuana recreationally on their off time. Do you want doctors doing that on their off time? Do you want dentists? Do you want surgeons? Do you want nurses? Do you want professionals that, quite frankly, might have to make life-changing decisions right at that moment, on a split second? And guess what? If even they're remotely impaired, don't you think that opens up a hospital, a medical practice, a police department, a fire department? Don't you think that opens all of them up to massive liability and lawsuits? I would say so. Now, again, nothing against these 2 officers. I don't know why they smoke it. And I get it that, there are journalists out there that, are just devoted potheads, and we all know who they are, that will applaud the Civil Service Commission for reinstating these officers. Again, I'm not saying that these officers deserve to lose their job. I'm not saying that. But again, what's the insistence on using marijuana? Okay? Especially when you're in a field, in a profession, where you might have to make decisions right at that moment. And guess what? If you're even remotely impaired, who knows the consequences your actions are going to have? It's as simple as that, folks. And this isn't Stephen Fulop being conservative. This isn't Stephen Fulop being a progressive or a liberal or a centrist or whatever. I think what Stephen Fulop is doing here is being reasonable, is being rational. Okay? Whatever you do on your own time is your... Again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't care to. I never will. It's not something that interests me. I understand some people need it for relaxation, to cure their anxiety, to perhaps, I don't know, open up their appetite for a variety of different reasons. Okay, I respect that. But understand, folks, that when you're in any of the aforementioned professions I just listed, the idea that you could be impaired at any time, and because we don't know the exact science of how long marijuana stays in your system, folks, it's too big of a risk to take. And Stephen Fulop is being proactive to make sure that a police department as large as Jersey City's is not going to be exposed to liability. What's the big deal? And now I get it. People are going to say, oh, well, that's totalitarian. No, that's draconian of Stephen Fulop. No, he's being practical. He's being commonsensical, and he's being reasonable. Because at the end of the day, it's not your tax dollars, folks, especially for those that don't live in Jersey City, that love to opine on these issues. It opens the city up to liability, and who really wants that at the end of the day? Well, as you can see, I'm wearing purple, and it is indeed representing Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And folks, we all know that domestic violence continues to be a serious problem, not just in New Jersey, but throughout the entire United States. We've seen the statistics, we've seen the instances, whether high-profile celebrities or your local neighbors. Domestic violence is a problem that's not going away. But I want to take this opportunity to feature one organization that is doing incredible work in the state of New Jersey, not just in raising awareness during the month of October, but all year round about the seriousness and the problems and at times the lethality of what domestic violence brings. I want to give a shout out to Safe Way Out, an amazing organization, and you can find more information located online by going to www.safewayout.org. Now, if you're ready to take charge of your safety and security, Safe Way Out is indeed ready to help. Now, certainly when we think about what it means, we think about, again, just egregious numbers. And what Safe Way Out is looking to do is they work hard to change the landscape for individuals that are at risk in New Jersey, both men and women. There's much work to be done to ensure the safety of individuals and families all across New Jersey and these United States. We are dedicated to this cause and work hard to develop programs that assist members with essential safety and security measures. And folks, I cannot say enough about the great work that Nicholas Luciano, the executive director of Safe Way Out, does every single day. This is a former serviceman and a guy dedicated to the community, but more importantly, dedicated to men and women that have been victims of domestic violence and domestic abuse. And it comes in all shapes and forms. It's not just physical abuse, folks. It's not just beating the piss out of somebody. It's about sort of the mental, even at times the financial abuse that you can engage in against your partner. And Safe Way Out works very, very hard to help men and women all throughout New Jersey in escaping horrible situations, especially in situations that involve children. No one deserves to be terrorized. No one deserves to be beaten almost to death. And that's what we keep seeing. And despite New Jersey having some of the strictest and harshest domestic violence laws in the country, it's still not stopping men and women from engaging in it. I can tell you, folks, I've seen it firsthand from victims and talking to people, whether, again, during my time working in the criminal justice system, working in academia, or also working now in media. I've talked to experts, I've talked to professionals, I've talked to mental health clinicians that will still tell you that domestic violence is a serious problem in the state of New Jersey. I just want to give a shout out once again to Safe Way Out, an incredible organization dedicated to helping men and women and children who are victims of domestic abuse and domestic violence. Once again, for more information, please go to their website, www.safewayout.org. You can follow them on both Instagram and Twitter. And folks, all your donations are indeed tax deductible. If you need serious help, please call 911, obviously, and contact your local police department. You can also text 833-396-HELP. Once again, you can text to 833-396-HELP. Or you can certainly click below to fill out the intake form on Safe Way Out's website to find out whether or not you are susceptible or vulnerable to any forms of domestic abuse and domestic violence. Let's do our part, folks, not just during October when rocking purple for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but let's raise awareness all 12 months out of the year. Lastly, folks, if you follow me on social media, you know I'm rocking pink also throughout the month of October since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And certainly for over 100 years, the American Cancer Society has been working hard with communities all across the state of New Jersey and throughout this country to raise awareness about the dangers of all forms of cancer, but more importantly now, during the month of October, the dangers of breast cancer that affect both women and men at still a very alarming rate. And we can all do our part to help defeat breast cancer once and for all. Case in point, I want to cordially invite you all to Thursday night, October the 26th, which is right around the corner next week, as a matter of fact, folks, starting at 7 p.m., to the world-famous Lolitas located in North Bergen along River Road for the 2023 edition of A Professor's Quest to Safe Breasts. That evening, I'll be joined by my amazing co-hosts, the beautiful Christina Kostovsky, the absolutely stunning Sandra Ramirez, the beautiful Courtney Gilroy, the hardest working man I know in Hudson County, Vladimir Carrero, along with yours truly. And we'll be greeting you upon arriving, folks. We do ask for a $20 suggested donation, and as well, we'll have raffles all throughout the evening. We'll have just outstanding music being played all night long by DJ Ziggy Roman. And of course, folks, we have plenty of businesses and local organizations being sponsors this year for a professor's quest to save breasts. For more information, certainly check out links on my social media and certainly the links provided on this program. And folks, let's all do our part coming up here on Thursday night, October the 26th. We'll start partying at 7 o'clock and we'll go all throughout the night, folks. We even close out Lolitas, which we plan to. And once again, folks, all proceeds will benefit the American Cancer Society and making strides against breast cancer in Jersey City. I look forward to doing the walk at Liberty State Park on Sunday, October the 29th. And rain or shine, folks, I've been doing that walk for 14 years, and it still hasn't stopped me. Hungover, sleepy, being out all night, whatever the case may be, doesn't stop my commitment to the American Cancer Society. So once again, mark on your calendars, tell your friends, share all the posts on social media, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday night, October the 26th, starting at 7 p.m., for the 2023 edition of A Professor's Quest to Save Breasts. And I'm proud to say this event has raised over $59,000 since 2008 to raise awareness for the American Cancer Society. Let's all do our part, folks, and ultimately and together we can defeat breast cancer once and for all. And that's our show for this week. Once again, to check out all the excellent programming brought to you by the leader in independent media right here in Hudson County, the Hudson Media Group, please go to their websites, www.hmgtvshows.com, as well as www.livestream.com/hmgtv. You can check out all of the great programming there and all the wonderful content brought to you by the Hudson Media Group, and of course, all the excellent hosts that we have here every single week. Don't forget to like the Hudson Media Group on Facebook, as well as Talking Politics with Fernando Uribe on Facebook as well. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube to the Hudson Media Group, and you'll see, once again, all of our great content there available to view anywhere at any time from any PC, Mac, smartphone, or tablet. Don't forget to follow the Hudson Media Group on Instagram and Twitter, and of course, check out my own Instagram and Twitter at the handles provided below. Folks, I cannot say enough how proud I am to be a part of the Hudson Media Group team. I'm deeply grateful to its CEO and executive producer, Pat O'Melia, and the wonderful staff here who make this show possible every single week. And again, to all of you, I thank you for your patience, your hard work, and your professionalism in making this program and all of our content as wonderful as it comes out every single week online. Folks, again, I thank you so much for always tuning in here. And remember, when we're talking about politics, it's always here with the Hudson Media Group. And always remember, if it's unbiased, unfiltered, and unafraid, you know it's me right here, Fernando Uribe, hosting Talking Politics with the Hudson Media Group. And I always like to remind you all, folks, that I am New Jersey's premier award-winning journalist, Top 50 Latino as voted on by the Latino Spirit Online magazine and the United States Latino Affairs Initiative, as well as being the weapon of mass disruption in Garden State media, along with being people's voice and the people's choice. And certainly, folks, let's be honest, the most handsome face that runs the place. Yes, it's me, Fernando Uribe, saying so long, everybody. Again, enjoy the rest of your week. Please party responsibly. And always remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. We'll see you next time here on the Hudson Media Group. And thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for watching Hudson Media Group. Follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook